You're either brand new to fingerstyle playing on the guitar, or you've been playing around with it but you're feeling a bit stuck and need some ideas. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. Now, most people who are looking at playing fingerstyle think it looks daunting when they try it. The hand feels tight and stiff. It gets a really sharp, twangy sound out of the guitar, and this puts a lot of people off. But if you know what to do, it's actually a lot simpler than it seems when you're listening to it or when you're first looking into it. And there are a few key points that if you get them right, you would be 90% of the way forward to getting a great tone, a great volume out of your guitar and having a really good fingerstyle sound. But most people either don't know them or they ignore them. So let's get you in that top percent of people who have the foundations correct and as a result have amazing tone and amazing sound while doing fingerstyle on the guitar. And if understanding how technique actually works on the guitar interests you, then I'm putting out videos every single week, so feel free to subscribe. Now, it's good to know that if you're playing on a classical guitar, an acoustic guitar with steel strings, maybe an electric guitar, if you're doing finger picking, the technique is going to stay exactly the same because your hand doesn't change, your biomechanics don't change, the physics of a guitar string don't change. The only difference will be the material of the string changing from nylon to metal with the different types of guitars. Of course, this will change the tension of the string, but the physics behind how you're playing, which generates your technique, that stays the same. So any style you're playing, this is going to apply. Jumping into the technique, the knuckle of the finger that you're using needs to be 100% up above the string. You don't want it dropping back, otherwise when you're having the best movement of the hand, which is just closing your hand, you will hit multiple strings. But if your knuckle is all the way forward, so it's coming straight up out of the string, when you curl your hand in, closing your hand, you'll only hit that one string. If you find your hand either jumping when you're playing or it's clawing at the string, getting a big hook before playing, both of those are going to be compromised versions of trying to miss the next string down. But both of these are going to destroy your tone and have far more that your hand has to do. So instead of jumping, instead of hooking your finger, push that knuckle forward, curl your finger in the same way as when you're gently, relaxed, open and closing your hand. Then you want to have your finger right on the tip of the finger when you play a note. You do not want your hand hooked around the string because then it's going to get caught and it's not going to slide off the string and play a nice smooth note. So make sure that you are right on the tip of your finger as this will glide over the note. You're not going to get caught on the note. Again, you're not going to have that friction in the way that might make your hand jump. It might make your hand have to do something else to need to let go of the string. We want as little friction as possible so that you can just curl your hand, stroke over the string to play the note. And the most important point is you want your knuckle forward directly over the string, finger straight, wrist straight. If this isn't in place, everything's going to collapse. So keep that one in mind. Now, you heard me mention the friction on the string that we want to avoid, and this leads us on to our third point, which is playing diagonally across the strings. If you're playing head on to the strings, there'll be the 100% friction. Your finger's going to get caught on the string, and you're going to be pulling a lot before it lets go. This is where you'll see people also jumping their hand to let go of the string. We don't want this. Instead, play at an angle across the strings, as this will let you glance over the string without getting caught, and it'll really warm up your tone. And of course, make sure that your knuckle is directly over the string, not even a millimeter back, directly over the string with your fingers straight, not hooked, and your wrist straight as well. This is extremely important, and why I'm repeating this point is it's really hard to actually get your hand doing it, because your hand is always going to want to start moving backwards, start collapsing a bit. So make sure you push that knuckle completely over the string. If you do not do this point, your hand will be compromising. If it drops back, your finger will have to hook. Your hand will have to do something like jumping, hooking, so as not to hit the next string down. We don't want any of these compromises. Push your knuckle forward, so the only movement your hand does is gently close. Now, if you have these points in place, your knuckles in the right place, you are on the tip of the finger, you've got the right angle across the string, this is going to get you 90% of the way forward with playing fingerstyle on the guitar. But you just have to be diligent in getting these foundations in place. It's worth noting, this is going to be exactly the same for any finger you're using, but we don't use the little finger because it's too short, it's not going to reach the strings where the others do. You see, when those are lined up nicely, my little finger's not really reaching. When you're looking to get your knuckle over the string, it's the knuckle of the finger you're using. So if I'm using my index finger, it'll be the index finger knuckle I want to put over the string. This is really important because your knuckles, of course, are going to be floating over different strings and your hand will have to move a little bit between them. And if you want to know the full geometry and reasons behind this technique and exactly why we want to do these, not just what you should be doing, join my free community, come ask me questions, jump on some live sessions, and let's really get your playing and your understanding moving forward. Also, if you want to see a video on unlocking your elbow to play the guitar in your left hand, moving on from the right hand, then check this video out here. It breaks down an idea that I bet you haven't seen before. I'll see you in there.